YouTube channel. Welcome to Audible Interlude, a G.I. Joe podcast. I'm your host, Dave West, codename Phantom Troublemaker, and we are currently simulcasting on the Audible Interlude TikTok.
Gotta dance. It's TikTok.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
And I am your co-host, Farley Seward, codename Frostbite, Tiger Force version.
You're so proud of yourself for that.
And I'm your Cobra intern that, as of today, joined a band, the Bell Bivouac DeVoes.
Ooh,
Codename
I like that.
Legion Cub.
So I'm going to turn off the TikTok now because I realize there's no point to this because they can't hear everything that I'm hearing.
Oh.
So anyway, if you saw this, go to the link, check out Needless Things. Thanks for watching. More stuff coming on TikTok soon. I'm going to hit this little power button.
Isn't like TikTok only like 30 seconds max anyway? I don't know.
No, you can if you're live, you go for as long as you want to go.
I don't have a TikTok or a hula hoop or a Dan Fogelberg.
A penny farthing.
Gosh. All right, Abe. Settle down. All right. I remember. All right. Down to business. We are here to talk about the Snowcat. We are here to count down the Snowcat, which is currently at refresh 16,023 backers. It is entirely possible, if I'm remembering correctly, when it launched, we discussed numbers. I said I think it would be just shy of 20,000, but I think you guys both said around 18, didn't you?
Mm.
Yeah, I think so.
And
yeah, between
I
16
mean,
and 18.
The way that it has been moving today, I think that's possible.
Yeah, we'll see what the last minute looks like. But I mean, it's been moving quickly all day. Like there hasn't been a gap since.
Well, this time yesterday, we weren't sure it was going to hit the bivouac.
Right.
And blew through.
I was up for work today at 3 a.m. and I kept checking it, and it seemed to have stalled, at like 2,000, I think like 700 or something. And I was like, oh man, the momentum's already gone. We're not going to get it. And I had like made myself mentally prepared to be heartbroken.
Right.
And I guess I just needed the rest of America to wake up.
Well, and I think
they were
also,
like,
well, yeah,
there was a surge. People who were watching it live said about 2,000 suddenly popped up, and of course they mentioned that the internationals would all come in at once.
Yeah, that's true. Well, we've got a lot to talk about. We've got to handle business before we get to Snowcat business because we've got a little housekeeping to take care of. You are watching the Needless Things YouTube channel. Please like, share, subscribe, do all the stuff you do, comment, and also remember, support us in the super chat. Anything that comes in during these live streams or anything that comes into the channel at all always goes back into the show, whether it's for hosting, whether it's for materials, itty bitty ditty bags, whatever it is. Everything that we get goes back into this show to make it the best show it can possibly be. So support us in the super chat. Also support us by showing your love for Audible Interlude. What better way to say I love you than with the gift of Audible Interlude? We have a lot of t-shirt designs that you can also get on mugs and hats and other things. Go to Audible Interlude Podcast on Instagram. Click on the pinned stories. Visit our TeePublic store and get yourself some merch. And if we see you at a live event wearing our merch, you're going to get something free. A little free swag-a-rooney. Speaking of live, our next Audible Interlude live stream is August the 25th. We have something planned for our audio episode next week that we'll talk about in just a minute because we have some hilarious things. Yes, put Hoffman's comment up there.
Yep. Is there a shovel mug?
As a matter of fact, you can get the the very popular tactical shovel design on a mug or a hat. Or you can't get a wall tapestry because you have to make them. I don't know. I didn't mess with wall tapestries because, quite frankly, I don't know that anybody needs an Audible Interlude wall tapestry until we get the full-size Kristian body pillow design.
I'm sitting here thinking that we need tattoos. I don't know how TeePublic will figure that one out, but
I actually, if you recall, I do have some Audible Interlude temporary tattoos,
right?
That I ended up not using, but I need to. We'll see. We'll see. Also, you can catch us live at Dragon Con. Friday, 4 p.m. at Dragon Con, Labor Day weekend, August the 29th for the Dragon Con American Sci-Fi Classics track. We'll be doing a live panel, lots of fun stuff planned. You know how we do. Lots of giveaways, lots of interactivity. It's going to be a good time. You will have fun if you're in the Dragon Con area. And, of course, the Facebook group. I got to give a big shout out to the Audible Army Facebook group because, what just happened?
Well, while you're
while I'm figuring
this
out, you deal with these chatters.
Mini Pete says, "How dare you assume what I need? I have wall tapestries for all of my favorite podcasts."
Okay,
I applaud you.
Okay, so the Audible Army Facebook group. I'm putting a link in the chat right now. So if you're watching us live, you can just click on that link and join. You can also send your email address to Audible Interlude Podcast on Instagram. Send us a message. We'll add you to the group. But huge shout out to the group because I wanted to go live prior to this on socials to let people know we were going live. Went on to TikTok. And you have to have, and we're relatively new on TikTok. I'm still getting the hang of what you need to post, when, how to get your numbers up and that kind of thing. So we're only at 49 followers on TikTok earlier, and you have to have 50 to go live. I put a message in the I put a post in the Audible Army Facebook group saying, hey, we need one more person to follow us on TikTok. Almost immediately got 2 more followers. We hit 51 and I went live. So, Audible Army Facebook group, absolutely great place to talk about G.I. Joe, to hang out, talk about the show, and to vote on what we're going to do on the show. We put a little poll in there. We'll talk about that in a minute. But first, I want to acknowledge something that Kristian and Noel, I bet you don't even realize.
Everything?
That today is our live-versary.
Ooh.
Well, actually, tomorrow. So tomorrow is our live-versary. The very first time Audible Interlude went live was the Hiss Tank Countdown in 2022. That's the first thing we ever went live for.
22.
3 years ago. 3 years. 2 years and 364 days ago. Isn't that wild?
Yeah. I mean, that's this time of year is a sweet spot for any of those HasLabs because they usually announce them at the end of Yojo June.
So yeah, that's how cool is that? We've been going live for 3 years. Pretty fun. Good times every time. Throw up silent interludes.
Yep, he was on that one.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, let's see. What is next? Did
we not go live for the Sky Striker?
I
know we did a Sky Striker episode, but
we didn't do a countdown. We did an episode.
Okay. Yeah, we did an after.
Yeah. All right. So speaking of the Audible Army Facebook group, I put a poll in there to determine what we were going to do next week. And earlier today, this is where we were with Kristian's pick, the Sigma 6 episode, Escape. Noel's pick, Real American Hero, Cold Slither. My pick, Renegades, Dreadnoks Rising. All Dreadnought related. Obviously, Cold Slither is the one that kind of inspired all of this. And earlier, Cold Slither was in the lead. But things have changed. Let me pull it up here. I don't have a shot of this. Right now, Dreadnoks Rising is in the lead. Escape has 1 vote now.
My pity vote. I didn't vote for my own, but Noel, thank you.
Here's the.
I didn't even vote for my own pick.
Here's the input I got earlier that just was so sad. This is where when you're a mod, this is what it shows you. Sigma 6 Escape 0. No one has voted for this option yet.
When he clicked on it, the music from Curb Your Enthusiasm played.
And then Kristian slowly crumples to the ground like George Michael.
Yes, I'm gonna make a crying Zartan meme.
So right now, though, the Renegades episode, Dreadnoks Rising, is in the lead. So if you want to have some input on that, if you're in the group, go vote. If you're not in the group, join the group and go vote. Because this will be open for. It doesn't say. I think it's open for another day, something like that. So go check it out. Cast your vote. Influence us here on the show. All right, what else have we got in the slides? Okay. Oh, yeah, lots of interesting things here. So we'll remove that. I got finally talked to Lenny today. It's a magical day. He said, sorry it's taken me so long to connect. And we had a little chit chat about a couple of things I'm working on making it happen, but it was very cool to finally get that connection.
He says hi, Wreck Ship, by the way.
Yeah, he said tell Wreck Ship. I
don't
said
leave
hi,
him on read.
and also that he is demoted again. And then also Crystal Ball. My Crystal Ball status is still arriving today.
Oh.
I don't think it's gonna happen. What do you guys think?
Mine is tomorrow.
Mine
really?
Mine said arriving tomorrow. I did get a thing saying that the tracking was updated, and when I clicked on it, it's in Pennsylvania. So I am not believing that it will be here tomorrow.
Oh, but yours has shipped?
Oh yeah. Yeah,
Oh.
it has moved from, I think it started in Illinois or something.
I'm looking at mine right now. It is not shipped, it has not done anything. It still says preparing, but it also still says arrives today. So something strange is afoot with old Crystal Ball. And I have absolutely I stopped at 2 more Walmarts on the way home today. Nothing. And I'm still not clear on where this section is.
Well, let me pull it
like
back
I've
up.
seen tons of pictures of it, but it's always these like super like people go stand a foot away from the thing to take the picture. So you can't tell where it is in the store.
So Yorktown Joe, whenever he was wishing everyone a good night, he said that at his Walmart, they were setting up the kiosk of Joe's Marvel and Transformers on one side and Motu and Hot Wheels on the other.
But so where in the store?
So the aisle shots that I saw, like if the toy aisles are going down this way, it's like in the middle, right outside the toy aisle.
So it is near the toy aisle. It's
Correct.
Not in that, because you know they have that seasonal section that sometimes has toys in it. Okay, so it is near the toy aisle.
Correct.
So yeah, every Walmart I've been to, first of all, they're all slightly different. So it's already confusing as to where anything might be. So yeah, none of them had them. Yeah, that Hoffman, you are correct. I've been to all of them now, and it's stupid.
Mine was apparently in Ellenwood, Georgia. It was picked up at midnight and was still in Ellenwood, Georgia. Arrived at FedEx location at 2:58 p.m. I'm like 15 minutes from Ellenwood.
Oh, really? That's always the last stop before it hits my just if it's in Ellenwood, it's usually going to arrive to me the next day.
Yeah, mine will presumably be at the house tomorrow.
I just figured when Noel had commented earlier that he hadn't received any updates, like.
Well, I opened the app when I saw that you got your notice.
Like your crystal ball right now is with whoever is bringing him. They're having dinner.
Right.
They're just kind of talking about their day. And after they have a good power nap, they'll just drive out to your house and ring your doorbell.
Snowcat is at 16,178.
Wow.
All right. So let's talk a little bit about just the Snowcat in general. I know we did an Instruments of Destruction on it, or at least I'm pretty sure we did. If you're in the Audible Army Facebook group, then you can go check out the Audible Interlude wiki and check Audible that for Interlude sure.
Wiki, and it comes up.
But we can still talk a little bit about the original release, 1985, because they do tend to So this is interesting. We got a couple of things to consider with this HasLab, because they have done anniversary stuff. The Hiss was 83, came out in 2023. The Dragonfly was 84, came out in 2024. Oh, but wait, no, because they're off. Rattler, yeah, Rattler throws it off.
Dragonfly was 83.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Okay, so never mind. Forget all of that. And they're offering, but the Snowcat was 85, and they're offering it in 2025, but it'll come out in 2026. So good. I'm actually glad of that, because I don't want whatever next year's HasLab might be to be limited to 1986.
The Rolling Thunder.
Snowcat was our Instruments of Destruction on the 5 March 2021 episode.
Yeah, I was pretty sure we had covered it, but I had it when I was a kid. It was one of my favorite vehicles.
And there are quotes from our Instruments of Destruction. This wiki is fantastic. I can't.
Yeah, it's incredible.
My quote from it was 8 foot pegs. There are more foot pegs than there are G.I. Joe characters that are equipped to handle the Arctic. And that's right, because that's where we came up. That's where the Torskitos was.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you join that Audible Army Facebook group, you do have access to that wiki, which is wild, absolutely unbelievable. The work that Scale Model Joe's has done on that. But so did we all have the Snowcat when we were kids?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
My favorites.
Isn't that interesting? Because Kristian, often you are a little later or didn't have things here and there.
Well,
so this vehicle we all happen to have.
I do need to go back and check the wiki, because it was actually a conversation with my younger brother recently that reminded me that we did have the Snowcat, because a lot of Joe vehicles, as I've mentioned on the show before, were traded or we got at a garage sale. So it wasn't super often that we bought this off the shelf. There are some that I have very distinct memories of that, but usually buying mint in the box new was reserved for Star Wars and He-Man with my parents when it came to vehicles, play sets. But he was saying that we did have the Snowcat back then.
So Kristian, since this is a special event type of situation, I'm going to go ahead and jump on some of these comments just to knock them out. We've got Silent Interlude says, how mad are you going to be if Noel gets his crystal ball first? You can't. you can't, because there's nothing you can do about it. So there's no point in getting mad about that kind of stuff. All the time I see people will post things and I'm like, well, I'm not even remotely close to having that yet. There are a couple of people that have their snakes already, and you just, whatever, you can't.
I was excited that for once I got the email, and I got the email before they got theirs. Because I know I am always going to be the last one.
Usually, yes.
Yes. Like, it may say that it's coming tomorrow. I told them, watch it be Dragon Con, and that's when it shows up.
I'll tell you what's more frustrating, like shipping wise. I don't, whatever. What's more frustrating is you keep seeing post after post after post online of people finding things in store. That frustrates me because I know where we are in Atlanta sucks. So like, I know and I see this stuff showing up in like California and Florida and wherever else, and I know it's not going to show up here, but I can't help but go look for it. So I waste so much time, like driving home from work. I waste all this time stopping at Walmarts and Targets and stuff, trying to find stuff that I know we're not going to get for a couple more weeks. That frustrates me more than anything. Drew F82, what do you guys think we might see as a support pack like the His Fire team? We're going to get into that later, so stay tuned. Joe Self just backed the cat, 16,165. Good job, Joe Self.
There was one from earlier that I was hoping that we would have a good segue in, but now I'm just going to go for it. Joe Self said, hey, congrats to Lady J and Flint. These will be their first classified figures, not to warm all the pets. The winner is you.
That's a good point.
That is
fair.
Well, and what's going to be really funny about it is once the Snowcat starts arriving, you know, those first couple of weeks after it hits, those two figures are going to be selling for probably close to $100 a piece. And we'll then see. No, there's no we'll see. It's what's happened with every single HasLab.
The Crazy Legs and Ripcord, like, you're lucky to get 50 for them at this point.
No, I'm not saying at this point. I'm saying for the 2 weeks after it first starts arriving.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah. There's no we'll see. It'll happen. Every single HasLab, it happens. Because there are people who don't order the thing but have to have the figures.
Yeah.
So somebody mark that down and we'll revisit it. Let's see what else.
Also,
have we got?
I had to make the joke because since Joe Self backed it, I'm glad that you decided to treat Joe Self.
Brett White.
Also, Silent Interlude.
So fast.
Also, Silent Interlude says Terrordrome HasLab. No. All right, go ahead, Chris.
Maybe if they do a O-ring one, but I don't think they're going to do any more O-ring HasLabs.
Oh, the Jada toys.
Brett White said I had one of those teeny tiny Snowcats. They weren't micro machines. I think they were released in conjunction with the teeny tiny Joes.
Well, this is the Jada toys that just was released a few years ago.
In abundance.
Yeah.
You can still get them for, I think, $2 at Ollie's. Like the 3-pack of, what was it, a Hiss, that, and the Vamp 2?
Vamp 2. But now, when... you know, we have talked multiple times about media for Joe, and I think now we need teeny tiny Joes. That's in the vein of Teen Titans Go. Like, we'll get our serious Energon universe.
Oh, we absolutely need like Yo Joe Go or something, just because I want to see the online fury at that. As a matter of fact, I'll go ahead and say right now, I hope we get a Teen Titans Go version of G.I. Joe before we get anything else, because I just want to drink in the rage that would happen.
I adore, and I collected all of the combat heroes minus the one wave.
Yeah, those are great.
That they're now $50 for. Well,
yeah.
I've got $100 for each 2-pack at this point. But
yeah,
I love those things. I would love to have seen more fiction made out of those.
Yeah, absolutely. Going back up, Hoffman says next year will be a water moccasins. They can finish the tiger. Apparently, Hoffman had a stroke as he was typing the end of this, so they can finish the tiger Dorse repaint. No, I don't think water moccasin will be a HasLab. We've talked about that before. I just don't see it needing to be that big.
There was a comment that I saw online. I meant to forward to you guys because I was like, wait, I've missed something. 'Cause somebody had posted, well, now that the rumor is true, that with all the changes, something like the Thunder Machine would have to be a HasLab. And I'm like, I haven't seen anything come out to say, but then again, I didn't see that.
Wait, where'd it go? Often, I have a lot of strokes while typing. Solid.
Both hands on the keyboard, sir.
Solid wordplay. Let's see. Oh, yeah. Well, we talked about this a little bit on the last live stream. Joe Self, over under 65% that we will eventually get retro card backs for Wild Bill, Wild Weasel, and Frostbite. I hope so, because I'd like to have an extra set. We actually mentioned like how odd it is that it's been so long since those Dragonfly figures came out, and we have not seen Crazy Legs or Ripcord in any form yet.
I mean, I think that if they do get around to it, you could do it in the more traditional colors where he doesn't have the darker. And then you could also, hey, if we're still doing Tiger Force within a year or two.
I hope we're still doing Tiger Force. All right. So we talked a little bit about the original Snowcat. I want to kind of move on because we've only got 34 minutes left and we've got a lot more I want to cover. One of the things I want to cover, so Hasbro Pulse, perhaps a bit belatedly, put up a Q&A today with Emily and Lenny, and maybe it was belated, maybe not. I don't know, because here, let's get Brett's comment in here. Brett White asked, "Does Noel have the AC on? I'm worried."
So I was worried. I have to run my heater in my basement because it's open upstairs, and all of the cold air all summer comes downstairs. So all summer long, I'm running the heater down here.
So Noel is okay. So anyway, on Instagram, Lenny and Emily and Evan did a Q&A that was it's a must watch. If you haven't watched it, you need to watch it, and not just for putting over the Snowcat, because obviously that only matters for the next half hour. It is so full of information about the process of toy design, about the decision making that goes into these things. It was fascinating, not just for the Snowcat information, but for everything that they talked about. I highly recommend everybody go to watch it. But we do have some. I watched it a couple hours ago and made some notes just of the highlights. And let's see. So this one of the most informational videos Hasbro has ever released, a must watch. And it's true. They really kind of let loose in this one in a way that they never have before. It felt very much off the cuff, and like, I don't know, it was just really fun to watch. Seeing the size of the Snowcat again, sitting in front of Emily, confirmed that I have to have it. It looks so impressive next to a human. Then watching the video, you of course have the comments on the side on Instagram, and I'll just say the snarky comments about not hitting the tears have not aged very well.
Nope.
And I'll throw this out there for the Audible Army. Once the Snowcat arrives, the first person to recreate that Game of Thrones meme with the sausages gets a ditty bag. They confirmed in this that the tiers can be released in other ways. So Lenny specifically was talking about the bivouac, and yeah, of course we could do a different color. Why not? But they will never release tiers that did not unlock as is. So for instance, ketchup and mustard, they will never release in 3 3/4 inch form, because that was a tier that did not unlock. So they will not produce them, but they might do that concept in classified. This is what Emily said. Mm-hmm. I don't know that anybody would be interested in that, but whatever. But I made a note here.
I was kind of surprised that they didn't throw that in as a perk with the Rattler.
Yeah. That does seem to disregard basically all of the vintage collection figures, but whatever. They put them out on different packaging, so okay. The tiers are designed to be special to the HasLab, so they're always something that they really think about and coordinate and do research on to make them relevant to whatever the HasLab is. They specifically said another hiss could happen, but it just won't be black and red and have the electronics, for instance, which they have said before. But as we've talked about on the show, sometimes something may get said. The Thunder Machine is a very good example that Lenny said, no, that doesn't need to be a HasLab. But he said that like 4 years ago. Things may have changed. Like you don't know. Anytime Lenny, Emily, anybody from any toy company really is talking to the camera, what they're saying is relevant in that moment in time. Things change. Nobody knew a year ago. Nobody knew we'd be dealing with the tariff situation we're dealing with now. Everything was different. Everything that was said then, it's different now. So like you can't say, oh, well, they said this in 2022 because they were saying that based on the information they had at the time. They go into detail about the development and decisions for a HasLab, and it's just, like I said, it's fascinating. Emily specified, because the international backers have been a thing where they say, oh, right at the end of the campaign, they had the international backers, and that's where the big bumps come from. Emily actually specified that the international backers tend to get added every Monday morning. But this time around, because of their workload, and as we've talked about on the show, everybody is overworked and underpaid. Hasbro has made terrible staffing decisions, as has every corporation in America, and they have people doing more work than they should be doing. So I'm sure they can't keep up with these things. So Emily did say this campaign, Noel's getting warm.
No. This thing just popped off of my head.
Oh, no. Emily did say this time around there will be a bump tonight when they add the international numbers. And it may have already happened. I don't know. This was obviously earlier today. And I'm going to do a little refresh right now. We're going to check back in and see what our number is. 16,401. So I don't think we're going to hit that 20. We might not even hit that 18. But, I mean, look, we cleared it all. So good. All right. Real quick, I just want to finish up. Somebody asked about opposing vehicles. And I wanted to go do the research, but I just didn't have time. They said they cannot speak to future releases. However, there is a teaser in the Snowcat launch video, and it's probably somebody on His Tank has probably already gone back and looked it up. I would imagine if you go check it out, you can find the information. Somebody in the chat right now might have already looked it up. But Cobra Commander says something about an opposing vehicle for the Snowcat in that launch video. So by the time we go live again, we will have been able to do the research and find out what that might be.
Well,
and I think
that tag where Cobra Commander tells Destro, paint the His Tank white.
Oh, is it?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, here's Hoffman right here. Hoffman says it's for an Arctic Hiss. And look, especially if they maybe change that loadout like they did for the 25th anniversary Arctic Hiss or whatever that was, modern line Arctic Hiss. I'm down with that. All right.
I wonder what that would retail for. That's the question.
My guess is 150. I don't know. We have no idea. There is supposedly a vehicle coming. Yeah, that's right. It had the Stinger missiles. There is supposedly a $150 vehicle coming before the end of the year, like pre-order, probably not actually shipping. We'll see. They specifically went in the Sunbow direction for Flint and Lady J. We know that. And they also confirmed that even though they haven't announced it yet, there is more Arctic stuff coming. The model that they've been showing, that they showed at Comic-Con and that they showed for this Q&A, it's an incredibly early model that normally wouldn't even exist at this stage. So when you're looking at the model they're showing us, like I can't even imagine how much better the final product is going to be. and they talked about how they're going to be doing. Oh my gosh, I have so many notes. This was such a good. You guys, everybody should watch this. They're going to be doing mold etching, which the example that they gave is when you put down the ramp on the hiss and that steel texture that's in there. They're going to be adding that to a lot of the flat spaces on that Snowcat model, so it won't look as flat as it does right now. Let's see. The launcher will be flattened out so it can stand independently. As we noted on that model, it's got that the peg goes through the base, so it doesn't sit flat. It will. The final model will. Lenny mentioned that he loves the old packaging with characters all over the vehicles, and he was referencing the fact that all of the bars in the troop carrier portion are designed so that the hands can hang on to them. I thought that was a nice little touch. Let's see. Oh, Lenny also mentioned he has another model like the Snowcat model that they're showing, but he cannot say what it is. So that's interesting. Obviously other things would be in development, but it's nice to know that there's another vehicle type thing that they're, it's in the works. It will have USB-C powered lights. Now they're batteries, but if you want to use it, he said from the start, he's one of these things to be like lamps, and that they've just now with the Ecto 1, they kind of figured out, the electronics engineer figured out how to have a USB-C powered setup. So it will have a USB-C input. So you can just have it plugged in and on.
And this may be the first one that I do that with, because I have never turned on the lights. Well, it's on the top shelves, but my Dragonfly and my Hiss tank.
What?
I've never used the electronics in them.
What are you doing?
Really?
I don't know.
Tom Henry, you're a very silly person. Tom Henry says $150 Fang 2. Mark my words. You know what? I wouldn't look if they upscaled that thing, made it hold like a couple of Cobras, and I'm not gonna lie, I could visualize a Fang 2 that I would pay $150 for.
I want, well, if it's a Fang 2, but if they try to upscale the original Fang, that just doesn't work. That thing's got to be tiny.
Yeah. But not retro Walmart version.
Right. With a little tiny little tail.
Yeah. It needs. Well, but think about it though. A classified Fang, if it is properly scaled, is still going to be like that big. Mm-hmm. It's going to be large.
Robert, and I apologize if I butcher your last name. Robert Scribbin. Best nightlight ever. And
absolutely.
You are correct. I can finally put Glowworm away.
So with the Rattler, and I may have mentioned this when I did the show and tell, the Joe and Tell for it, like the previous ones you cycled through and eventually it would turn off. With the Rattler, it's a 2-minute duration when you turn on the lights. And it's hard because the instructions don't have any words. It's all just like symbols and stuff. And it just has like a little 2 o'clock clock. And so I was like, well, what is that? Oh, that the lights will turn off automatically after 2 minutes. I was like, how do I turn this off? I don't want to kill the batteries the first time And
it takes 2 minutes to figure that out.
Right.
Palpatine 1975 jumped in to say, just back to Snowcat, international backer here.
Nice.
If you don't mind, let us know where you are from. And is this the first HasLab?
Coruscant.
Coruscant. Intergalactic backer.
I deserve that. But if you back the other HasLabs for our international folks, what's the delay? Like, do you guys still get them around the same time that we do, or is it a little bit longer?
Or like a lot of the stuff lately, are you getting it sooner?
That's true, because you all don't have tariffs the way that we do right now.
So Lenny talked a bit about, Lenny and Emily both talked a bit about how HasLabs actually, because of their nature, they're actually a good source of learning and development. Like they learn a lot of things from developing these HasLabs, from engineering, to everything, because a lot of the innovations come out of these HasLabs. It's like any research and development. The forefront of it trickles down to everything else.
Well, speaking of trickling down, Silent Interlude says the UK gets them first. I'm fine with that because you all have Taskmaster and 8 out of 10 Cats does Countdown, so you deserve good things. And then the good old Dr. Alan Grant is currently in Australia, and they do tend to get the HasLab sooner.
That's interesting.
Well, they have shorter distance to ship from.
Yeah,
but see, nobody asked if they should get them sooner. So Hasbro is like, have them.
Oh boy. And now we need the what are the dinosaur hunters?
Right.
HasLab. Here you go. There's throw up Palpatine's response.
All right. So Palpatine is from Singapore. I have the Hiss and Dragonfly. We get it within the first 2 weeks of distribution, and the price of HasLabs is almost twice the amount of US dollars.
Woo!
Wow.
Oh
that is, I salute you. That is dedication, buddy.
And we got a very international audience tonight. This is great.
So just to check in, Snowcat is currently at 16,523.
19 minutes to go.
So continue on with the Q&A. They're still working on the lighting. The plan is to have daylight, night, fog, surveillance, and emergency modes for the lights. Lots of repaint opportunities this was interesting because Lenny specifically mentioned Lady J and said there are lots of repaint opportunities there. All white, regular camo, and night camo. I thought that was interesting with that jacket. Now the all white obviously makes sense.
Interesting.
Yeah. I'll throw Brett's up there. Brett White says, have y'all speculated as to why there's a surge today with backers, or is this normal? This is the first Joe HasLab I've kept up with. Usually the final day of a HasLab matches the first day of a HasLab. I think that's usually how it works.
Yeah.
So there's always a surge at the end. Like that is normal. Although with this one, because it seemed to slump a little early and stay slumped. I do feel it. Look, Geek Dad Life. There's a website called Geek Dad Life that does if you want to know the numbers of this, like a breakdown, very analytical look at the numbers. Go check out Geek Dad Life. They really do good work with all these things. But I do think the Snowcat hit more of a lull, a lower, longer lull.
Yeah.
Than any of the others have.
Everything else has funded within the first. I think the Rattler took the longest before, and it was
but it was still like 2 days or something, right?
It was still pretty quick, just a few days. I'm not counting the Sky Striker because that one was the anomaly, and
right.
But for the classified ones, they've all the Hiss was the fastest HasLab to fund ever. It was within 8 hours.
This one has been
Tom Henry in the super chat for a super hat and staying up late. And this is late because Kristian, you said you were up at 3:30. I was up at 4:30.
And I have to be
and you have to be up again
5 a.m. tomorrow.
And I'm very thankful for that.
10-hour day.
Oh my gosh.
But yeah, the Snowcat is like the Grandpa Joe of HasLabs this time around from Willy Wonka. Like he's just in the bed, and now a couple of days ago they're like, guess what? Everybody got their cold slithers. Here's your golden ticket, Snowcat.
So he's the true villain of the campaign.
So we got somebody commented earlier about an analog to the Hiss Fire team that could potentially accompany the Snowcat. And they actually mentioned this during the Q&A. If you go to this Q&A, comment what you want. They said they're going to be looking at it. They said companion set, we want input. So if you have ideas, they talked about troop builders, whatever you think would be cool. And that's the interesting thing, because with with Cobra, like 70% of the releases are troop builders of some kind, but with Joe, it's a little more limited. I wouldn't mind like an Arctic Steel Brigade. That would make sense to me. If you wanted to do something with what have we got Buckwise that they could reuse? We've got we'll have Frostbite, we'll have Snow Job. So who could they make that?
So I was thinking Iceberg version 2, right? Has the yellow ski mask. But here's the thing is, but like, again, the face is completely covered. So if you wanted to put that mold out as part of a fire team or a snow team, I guess we should say, it doesn't have to be Iceberg. You can, because I don't know that I want a Steel Brigade. I want everybody to look like they.
But it makes sense in the context of what they're, or maybe they do 3 characters like in the chat here. Wait, hang on, this is moving fast. Silent Interlude says Polar Battle Bear with Whiteout, which I'm down with that, and then Arctic Scarlet Stalker and Snake Eyes. And you do those, and you include 3 Steel Brigade helmets. Well, I think you have to have a troop builder option for this thing.
Yeah, we talked about this when this first went live, and I was saying, like, I watched the first few minutes of G.I. Joe the movie, and I was like looking at characters who are wearing their Arctic gear and thinking what they could pack in, like a quick kick, mainframe, dial tone, which we'll have all those when this comes out.
Yeah. Oh, I don't hate this idea, actually. What Nowhere Manchild, would they make a white winter gear green shirt? I don't hate that if you like use Flint's jacket and just make that like a green shirt.
That's what I was thinking along the lines of that Iceberg too, because the other example I had is when you started.
Oh my gosh! Wait, Kristian. I'm sorry. I'm totally just blowing you out of the water tonight, but it's because I'm a little tipsy. JJ shoulder height. I want a Saint Bernard with a brandy cask on the collar. Do it. Done. Sign off on it. Make it happen. That's the best idea we've gotten all night long. Yes.
And then we had a couple people comment about the October Guard, and that's perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Like, because we haven't had any October Guard yet in this line.
And there's no reason they can't do them. I know there are geopolitical issues, but you don't. Classified doesn't do any of that. It doesn't have file cards. It doesn't identify anything. Like, we're not going to put like Ukrainian symbols on these figures. Just do the characters, and you don't have to talk about where they're from or anything like that. Like, just do it, because yes, October Guard, it has to happen in classified. How badly do we all want horror show? Oh my gosh.
But in the 25th line or Pursuit of Cobra, like once you start getting up to like the Ice Saber and stuff like that, they had so many re-releases of Frostbite. But Frostbite was a winter coat, winter pants, and a Snake Eyes head. Like that doesn't have to be Frostbite. That can be anybody. So as long as you're kind of covering the face up, then we get a trooper. I would just like to see something that's a little more Arctic themed than just a Steel Brigade helmet.
Well, you know what another option could be? Don't even make them Joes. Do like that remember the 25th anniversary? They did those Cobra environmental sets. They did Arctic and Desert.
Mm-hmm.
Do a Cobra Arctic set. That Arctic scrap iron is great.
Yep, and the Arctic
Televiper. Like, that could be interesting also, because as always, the Joes are in general specified characters. I look at them as having support troops that are generic, but for the most part, Joes are specific individuals, whereas Cobra is their mass. That's their masses. They're troop builders. They're so like maybe we don't even really need a set of Arctic Joes. Like release them in the main line. That's fine. But maybe this set is actually Cobras to go up against this Snowcat.
Yeah, you got 3 Joe figures. We're now all getting confirmed, so you get 3 Cobra figures to go against them.
Yeah, because right now
Scrap Iron's
we
a good
only
centerpiece for
have
that.
the Snow Viper.
And I got to think there's a decent chance that we're going to get a retro card back Snow Job, because if you remember, he was, what was he? He wasn't Pulse exclusive, but he was fan channel.
Yeah,
but he wasn't mainline release.
No.
So
he was a deluxe, so it's a good opportunity.
Yeah, he was a deluxe. So retro cardback Snow Job, maybe using Frostbite's buck, slim him down a little bit, make him look a little more like the original. Like there's a lot of opportunity here,
right,
to do some fun stuff. All right, we gotta keep going because we're 8 minutes away from wrapping this thing up. Real quick, just to run through the rest of the stuff. They're still working out the colors on the light. The frost stickers are going to be low tack, so you can put them on, take them off, put them on, take them off. Now, granted, you're only going to do that a certain number of times, but they're not permanent when you put them on there. Lenny said, this was very interesting to me. They do around 4 unboxings for corporate purposes for each product. So he has done, for the Rattler, they did I can't remember exactly what he said. Like I said, every single person sitting here should watch this video because it's fascinating. But they unbox for the corporate heads. They unbox for the safety department. They unbox for... So he's done like 4 unboxings for the Rattler and said he hasn't even opened his own Rattler yet because he's done so many corporate unboxings. If you pay attention to this video, you will hear that making toys is far more complicated than most collectors seem to think. And as somebody who is the proprietor of the YouTube channel, I see exactly what kind of dumb, uninformed comments come in about toys. And I will tell you right now, watch this video and hopefully you will understand how ignorant you are when you say things that start with, they could just, or why don't they just? There is no just. Watch this video and hopefully understand how complicated it is to make a toy.
So I just have to rephrase everything into they should.
They should. Yeah, you don't have enough information to say what they should. All right, let's see. Oh gosh, we've got sound off, you guys. Holy cow, we got to burn through some sound offs. Tier 1 unlocked, Tier 2 unlocked, Tier 3 unlocked.
Hot dogs are coming.
This is all the stuff that I was supposed to share while I was talking about the Q&A. Look at the size of the Snowcat. Look at the size of the bivouac. I didn't... From the pictures we saw initially, I didn't realize how big the bivouac was.
I mean, it's got to be about at least 8 or 9 inches tall to accommodate a 6-inch figure.
Yeah.
This is the label sheet, just the singular label sheet. And now sound off. Borges X, I'm happy for anyone who is backing it. I just can't do this one. Having just received my Rattler, I'm realizing it can no longer house these things. They're just too big. If this was a tank, I might try and find the room, but not for an environment-specific vehicle. I totally understand that, and I said, as you know, I said something very similar a few episodes ago, but I'm in on it. I'm in for it now. Road Pig John.
Freezer.
Road Pig John says, I need to watch that. Yes, everybody needs to watch that video. It's really, really good. Even after this thing funds, go watch it. It's a great video.
We'll have a quiz on the Facebook group to make sure you all watch it.
That's right. That's right. Knox Levitt 1. It was one of my favorites. I had it as a kid. I don't think we get to the bivouac. You were wrong about that, as we all kind of were, which I really wanted because those mini playsets are so good. I wonder what lessons does Hasbro take from this? It does not seem like the advertising push was very high for this from Hasbro. Yeah, agreed. Agreed. So Silent Interlude says, is the video still on YouTube? It's on Kristian.
I know. Sorry.
I have the comments. I have the com.
I'm trying.
No, it's on Instagram. It is not. It was never on YouTube. Okay. Yeah, it does not seem like no. The advertising push was not very good. But look, in the end, the lesson they learned is maybe it doesn't matter. Devinder 290675. How about what comes after the Snowcat? Will it still be snow themed? If it is, will next one be the Cobra Wolf? I do not see the Cobra Wolf as a HasLab, and I don't mean that it wouldn't need to be a HasLab. I mean I just don't see it. I don't see them picking that for a HasLab. Unfortunately, because it would make a very cool classified vehicle.
Yeah, I think as much complaining we got about the Snowcat, which is a much more iconic vehicle than the Cobra Wolf, we would hear even worse comments.
Yeah.
But we do, as we mentioned, it was confirmed that more Arctic themed stuff is coming. Nictimus Prime, what are we supposed to do with the kitchenette if we don't get all the accessories? Well, we're getting all the accessories. Silent Interlude. I've been saying for a while now that the 3 classified vehicles I wouldn't be able to pass on were the Hiss, Snowcat, and Mini Armadillo. I like that you said Mini Armadillo because that's suggesting there is a full-size armadillo.
They had the World of Tanks Armadillo, which I thought was a great design that could be adapted for classified. I'd still like to see that.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. But yeah, it is funny to refer to as the Mini Armadillo. All for sentimental reasons. Snow stuff was my particular favorite as a kid. I missed out on Snow Job, but I used to have Frostbite, Alpine, Iceberg, and Avalanche going toe-to-toe against Snow Serpent and Ice Viper. I really hope we get a retro classified Snow Job since I missed him. I feel like it's got to happen. I really do.
Mm-hmm.
Tom Henry, if G.I. Joe was ordered to locate and capture a team consisting of Sasquatch, Chupacabra, Jersey Devil, and Mothman with a squad of no more than 5, who would you send? What vehicles would you give them? And would they succeed? Hashtag Fang 2025. Hashtag good luck on the HasLab. Hashtag risk for DirtNap 2025. We will address this in a future episode because obviously this requires more time.
Halloween is right around the corner.
This is a Halloween theme.
You're right. Absolutely. Tiki Rum Dumpster, which quite frankly, my favorite name on Instagram, and we know who that is. What figure companion 2 or 3 packs would you want to see to go with the Snowcat? We talked about that pretty much. He says, I would want to see Quinn, Big Ben version 3, and an Arctic Ambush. I dig all of those. 100%. I agree. That would be, and honestly, really those could all be mainline releases.
Yeah.
But, do it as a 3-pack, fine, I'll take it. But I think those are all solid enough to be mainline.
I wonder if we do get Quinn in classified because we have dipped a little bit into some, Sunbow stuff. We haven't really gotten into any Marvel.
Any comment. Yeah, that's a good point. They do seem really Sunbow focused. But I do feel like
think that we will.
I also feel like with as much as the team does pay attention to the customers, they know that Quinn is a most wanted. So and also how awesome is he going to be once they get to him, Like I just imagine, and I want both. I want the Arctic version and I want the Safari version.
I want the shorts.
Yeah. Well, I want the Safari version more than I want the Arctic version, but how cool of a tag to the whole Snowcat event would it be for Arctic Quinn to be like a big announcement? And could you do something special with him? Like, could he be plussed up to the point where he'd be a worthy, like, convention exclusive or something like that?
I think so. Look at all the accessories he came with.
Right. And you could probably, you could pair him with an animal. They've done it with characters that normally have them too. So,
put even though it wouldn't necessarily make sense to the canon that we know, put him with the Saint Bernard. Why not? Why not?
That's better. I was thinking a baby seal.
Oh, boo. I know what you're thinking, you evil little man. All right, we are almost there.
Snowcat says it ended. It didn't end. It still has a minute left.
Yeah, it's not. Well, it's at 11:59. It's supposed to be the end. Oh,
okay.
Whoa.
Yeah, it's ended.
But it dipped 15,758. It dipped by like 500.
No, mine says 16,806.
Oh, does? Okay,
Oh, wait, never mind. I just refreshed and it went back to 15,758. Oh, no.
Yeah, well, but we never have an accurate.
And now it's back
so
to
is it done?
16,813.
Okay,
So
it is done. Yeah, well, and we never have an accurate final number until like a day or two later. It seems
Remember
like.
when it froze at the end of the Dragonfly?
Right.
Yeah.
But since it is over, I can now bring up Mark Harkness. Have they reached 20K yet where the nacelle Captain Kirk will come and bring the eggs and
I wish. I need those nacelle Star Trek figures immediately. Where is Wave 1? I know they're not supposed to be here till October, but it's driving me crazy because I'm so
I've already been telling all my other figures, like, by this time next year, we're gonna be having a cookout. Like, so Kirk.
Oh, and real quick before we sign off, I'm just gonna mention I did it, you guys. I went ahead and bought the William Shatner photo op for Dragon Con because I've been kicking myself for years that I didn't do it last time he was there because it was him and Nimoy.
And he's like 96 now, and you may not have many more opportunities.
Right. This may be it. He may not even make it to this.
Hush your mouth.
Grim. So yeah, I will be meeting Captain Kirk, and I will be asking him about climbing the mountain. That is all the time we've got. Congratulations to the Hasbro team for we can't say it was a great campaign, but it's not the fault of the team. It's the fault of Hasbro. We will be back August the 25th with another live stream. Next week, we will have an audio episode. If you want input as to what we do on that episode, join the Audible Army Facebook group. Our music is by Andy Sanford of electricminnowmusic.com. Follow us on Instagram at Audible Interlude Podcast and on TikTok at Audible Interlude Podcast. Kristian, where can we find that toy photography that you do so well?
You can find me on Instagram and Blue Sky under the name Legion Cub.
And Noel, tell us a little bit about the Finest.
Are you asking Farley?
Yeah, Farley.
The Finest is an international G.I. Joe costuming club. Sometimes we build things like a Tiger Force Snowcat, Frostbite. But yes, we will be at Jolanta coming up very soon. We'll also have some presents at Dragon Con, although we will not be raising funds there. But you can check out thefinestcc.com or the Finest Recruitment Center on Facebook if you want more information.
So like I said, August 25th is our next live stream. And then just a few days after that, we will be live at Dragon Con. So big week for us. Until then, yo, Joe.